The clip that you're talking about is, I was talking with Dustin and we were talking about LA Social actually. Your name came up and I think I said something about how you were always getting drunk and fighting with your girlfriend in the club or something.
It was a great clip, bro. It was fucking hilarious.
Something like that. But I've grown as well, and
yes,
I think that I'm not trying to put anybody else down so that I can get above them, but I'm also not like paying attention to anybody else.
That's also what changed. Like you said, we never had really had this conversation outside of passing each other in a club, but I didn't need to have the conversation to know that you've grown and changed too. So, man, we're just rubbing each other off today. It's awesome.
I'll take it. Come in my face.
Yeah, let's go. Clip that.
Well, all right. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Today's a big day. It's a big day in the PWS world. We got my boy on the couch, local Chicago legend gone worldwide, the head of house music, Jake Shore, dropped the drive.
Ooh.
The kid's back.
We're here. We made it.
How you feeling, champ?
We did it. We fucking did it. We're here.
You did do it.
Dude,
you did it. I'm working on it.
No, we're all out here, man. I think just rocking and rolling, dude. I'm back for the holidays. I'm in the city.
How does it feel to be back?
Dude, I love coming back. And the cold's different, though. The cold, I wasn't ready for that. You know what hit me the other day as I was like, I got back like a couple days ago. This is how I knew I was back. I saw somebody, I saw somebody out front of my parents' house warming up their car. And I really did forget about like the concept of warming up your car. Mm-hmm. I've only been in Miami for like almost a year now, but still, it's like, it's been a long time since I felt the cold. Yeah. It's good though. I feel like the cold, it builds some character.
I'll tell you right now that the cold, you're a Chicago kid. There's no doubt about it. Through and through. It's one of the things I love most about you is how hard you rep Chicago and how much it comes through in your personality, in your accent, in your music, everything you do. So thank you for that. And I will say right now that the cold did that to you.
Oh, yeah.
It had an effect on you.
Yeah.
And in the best way possible.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, it makes you appreciate, I think is the word. And like, I like to, this is a big conversation for me too, man. I'm really happy that we're doing this for so many reasons, because I think I don't often get a chance to speak with people anymore who really know where I've come from. I think because of the scale in which I've been able to connect with people, like you said, across the nation, across the world, and I've been very blessed to do that. People have joined the journey at different parts, a lot in just the past year, but there's people that literally know where I come from, how many, we've done the same rooms, we've DJ'd the same nights, we've played the same places, we've failed and had successes and did all, so like having to get a chance to sit down with somebody who knows where I've come from and knows that the city made me who I am today and how I'm doing. 100% that. And that's why I always rock everything, because it's like you got 3 seconds these days for people. That's how fast things are. So in 3 seconds, at least you're gonna know where I'm from.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm doing it. So
I like that. Yeah. Should we start? Do we start at the beginning? Do we go back?
Yeah, let's give the people a little history lesson. I think we have to. Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you that the first place I think we worked together was LA Social, and me and Dustin talked about this.
Shout out LA Social.
It was the GOAT. The Send Nudes party. You were in there with Caroline Pena.
Oh yeah, shout out Carol.
Shout out Caroline for sure.
She's killing it. Good for her.
I haven't talked to her in a long time. You still in contact with her?
Yeah, she comes to every show.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, she's a rider.
She coming tonight?
I don't know. Tonight was kind of like, I'm just threw it up on my story right now. We hit people internally. Okay, yeah. I mean, just saying, hit me up. I'm doing a pop-up type of thing. I didn't flush the address out there to the world, but yeah, no, she supports, man. She's always out there, and like that's love. Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, LA Social. Wow, what a place.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk in there, man. That was the spot, bro. That was the spot.
That was like an entry for a whole class of industry, DJs, bartenders, promoters.
Facts.
Like
shout out Dustin.
Yeah.
Shout out Dustin for that. The Godfather.
Yep.
Yeah. that place was wild. And then, we both had our run around with the Bottle Blonde days. Shout out Bottle Blonde.
Eric Ferroni.
Woo!
Our boy. Have you seen him recently?
Last time I saw them, that's kind of funny because I went and did Almost Famous out in Arizona.
Yeah, with Massey.
Without knowing that they ran it.
Yeah.
So it got booked through my like agent and my team, like a normal booking, and I'm like, all right, this place looks pretty cool. Looks like they're trying to like put a house stamp in the area over there in Scottsdale that's, more so like bottle service clubby and whatnot. So I go out there and I walk into the club for sound check, and it's freaking Justin, Tito, like all these guys come up to me, and I'm like, yo, and they were nothing. Same thing, bro. Just like, dude, you're doing it. Like, we're so happy to have you. Like, took care of me. I was wondering why they got me like a fat ass hotel, like villa at some golf course. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, it was like 3 stories for no reason. It's just me. So I was like, no, but it's that's the type of shit though. Back to like the Chicago thing. I think that's the pride that we all have. And I do purposely do that, right? I do purposely. I'm glad you noticed it. I try and shout it out in every which way, including the music, because man, it's literally why I am the way I am. It's what I do and whatnot. So, but we did have some good days though. There's some like, I feel like River North's different now.
It's much different.
Just the bar scene, club scene in general, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was walking in my car last night and someone tried to sell me a mixed drink out of a plastic pouch that they made from the cooler that they were walking down the street.
Hustling, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, bro.
I know, it's so strange. And I think too, for me, like, look, man, I'll just cut to the chase. Like, one of the main reasons why I wanted to jump on here is because there was a clip that you posted, and it was pretty much how you knew me or how you viewed me at one point. And I think for me, and your perspective was not wrong. I was a different person back in the day. I mean, I was 22, big old ego in a small city. As you know, Chicago gets really small, and drinking a lot and partying a lot, as we all were. But for me, it was a nice, like, humbling thing to see for a minute. And I was like, yeah, let me come back on here and just like, let's see where we're both at. I think honestly, we both have done a lot of growing, right? We both done a lot of growing up. And for me, man, it's also like, that's the type of person I am though. Like, I don't ever want, it almost made me, again, your perspective was completely on, you were right. I was that person. But at the same time, I was like, I want to, like, that makes me feel bad. So let me go show him, like, let's go have the conversation we need to have. You know what I mean? So and I just want to let you know, like, I didn't take that in any bad way. It was the thing that motivated me to be like, all right, let's get back on here. You know what I mean? Let's chop it up. So,
I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, I was talking a little bit of shit. Sometimes you gotta throw a couple.
Not at all.
Couple pieces of bait into the water and see what you can catch.
I think it's only talking shit if you're lying. If it's true. It's
like talking shit, friendly shit.
Yeah,
you know what
I
mean? Like,
I knew where it came from. I knew where it came from for sure. And like, you did it. This is why you're one of the most savvy marketers, promoters, and why you've had success. You know how to get people's attention and do it in the right way, right? So like, it got my attention. And I saw the comment, somebody commented about that, and then you kind of, well, I'm trying to get him on the podcast. I was like, you got me. When and where, right? So I think for me though too, I honestly haven't really been too public about that. So I feel like this is the best, like, full circle, a way to do it, not to like jump into things too deeply already, but I think it's important for me to kind of shed some light on this. Like, for any DJ or anybody out there, you even said it, and you've been pretty successful, man. So your idea of still working on it or still trying to quote unquote make it is, I think you've done a lot of great things. So you should be very proud of yourself. But for any DJs or anybody out there trying to make it in something or trying to find success, I know for me, like, there was a point in time where I just hit like ground zero with the drinking, and like, it took a lot of bad shit to happen for me to finally just wake up and be like, all right, I need to stop. And like a light switch kind of went off. And I think the best thing about it, and I'll be 100% honest, in the past 3 years, say about 95% sober that entire time, but I'm not going to sit here in front like it's black and white. It's not. There's been moments in the past 3 years where I go back into it and one thing leads to another, and I'm right back in the same place again. So I think like currently right now, I think 75 days today.
Nice.
So, and
Congrats.
I think one thing I've gained out of the whole thing is clarity, bro. You get so much clarity on what you want. You get so much clarity on who you are and who you don't want to be. And that person that you remember is somebody that I never want to be, right? And so the better part of the last 3 years, I haven't been that person, which is why I've been able to do what I have done in the past 3 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And just for context, anybody who's watching, the clip that you're talking about is, I was talking with Dustin and we were talking about LA Social actually, and your name came up, and I think I said something about how you were always partying and like getting drunk and fighting with your girlfriend in the club or something.
It was a great clip, bro. It was fucking hilarious.
Something like that. But it's 50-50, right? So like, I've grown as well, and yes, I think that back in those days I was so hyper focused on myself and like my career and trying to gain my traction that I had like the horse blinders on, right? Like I'm not trying to put anybody else down so that I can get above them, but I'm also not like paying attention to anybody else. And I just had this conversation with Prapa where like there's so much talent around us in this city, and I couldn't see any of that back then. And now that I'm back here after being in Houston, I'm like, holy shit, dude, there's some fucking people here that are really doing it and like doing cool shit.
Yeah. I think the other thing is too is like you know, off of that is we give value now. I think that's what we've realized, you know, maybe literally, or maybe this is news to you now, but you're giving value by doing this, by having people on in the city, around the city, in the industry, in the music business. Like that's something that, agreed, same thing. I was so hyper focused on really me. Again, you add alcohol to that, you add God knows what to that, and the ego just inflates. And yeah, I didn't care what I said, I didn't care who I talked to, I didn't care how I was perceived, and I didn't at that time treat it like a business. And that's something too I've come into in the past year and a half or so, really understanding that this is my business. And just like if you owned a brick and mortar business, you have to act a certain way, you have to perform in a certain etiquette, etc. But like more than anything now, I feel like we give value back, or we understand that we're part of a larger thing, and you can still shine within that larger thing. It's actually more beneficial because it spreads, right? Like you give that value of light or whatever you got, and it can spread. Like I think one thing about me is the value I could give is the story. Right? It's like, okay, if you're from Chicago or you're somebody that's trying to do something, you can do it because I'm trying to do it, or I'm accomplished XYZ. And I think I try and stop and share those moments, or share like what helped me, which I just did a moment ago. You, again, like I said, this was something I don't think you would have necessarily done for other people, or like I know you've done, like you had the show, right? You had the Strategy and Dolo show, but this to me is valuable, right? Like, and it's also just happens to be such a powerful way of media nowadays, is two people just sitting and talking, not two minute, you know, sound bites, or trying to answer a question in 2 minutes, like on the news or something. Like this is what people are thriving for. And yeah, man, I mean, that's also what changed. Like you said, we never had really had this conversation outside of passing each other in a club, but I didn't need to have the conversation to know that you've grown and changed too. So man, we're just rubbing each other off today. It's awesome.
I'll take it. Come in my face.
Yeah, let's go. Clip that.
No, but also,
no, this all needed to be said though, man. You know, obviously it's something that we both felt it's important, you know, it's tip of the cap.
There's also pieces of you from back then that still exist that work.
Yeah.
That have,
and I'm hoping
you've kept.
Yeah. I hope that you see that too, you know?
Yeah, which is perfect. You know, like
there's a lot that hasn't changed.
I remember we'd walk into Bottled, me and Dolo, and you're fucking in the DJ booth, and there's 4 people there, but you're ripping it like you're at Coachella. Yeah. You're dancing, you're having a good time. Facts. And we would always be like, that's wild. Yeah. But I wish I could do that. Yeah. That would add so much value to my fucking DJ sets if I could do that. And the fact that like you are a good dancer, I think also plays into like your ability to create music. It's all rhythm. It's all like comes from the same place. You know what I mean? Like, and you were TikToking before it was hot.
We say it all the time.
They met, and I think it's huge.
I say that all the time because, you know, something else that I've kind of tipped off in conversations and podcasts is like, and I'm glad that you see that. I'm glad that you see there's so many strands of me that haven't changed, because I think there's a lot of people, and again, it's why I love having these conversations with people who've known me, because you know that for the most part, I'm just doing what I've always done, and now people are catching on. And we say, like with Lewis and Walsh, we say that we were, ever since Instagram had stories, we were flexing what we were doing, right? And now it's just like that's become so normalized and kind of what you need to do to promote yourself as an artist. Yeah, it just hit at the right time in the right place. I think my energy and my ability to move on stage, you know, I'm an entertainer, man. I mean, I have never claimed to be the most technical DJ, right? I know how to, and I would love to jump into this, like, as where we come from, you have to know how to turn up a fucking room. Like, you have to, and you have the ability to do it. I've seen you do it. I have the ability to do it. And taking that times my energy, times my song selection, it really has transcended what I'm doing, because it blows my mind how many DJs or how many music producers in the game, and they don't even know, they can't even dance. And it's just like, damn, that's crazy. But the other side of that is I've had to prove that to the music industry too, because a lot of people just, oh, he's just some TikTok this or TikTok that. It's like, come see it live, bro. You know?
Isn't that kind of tight though? I prefer myself to be the underdog. You know, like when I was doing the send nude shit and people would be like, hey, he doesn't even know how to DJ. He just puts stickers on girls, whatever. And then you get in the room and you rip it. It's so much easier to just impress them when they're already expecting nothing. You know? The best.
I had a cat. I played LA like 5 times this year, which is crazy to say out loud, because like to ever think I was play LA period is nuts. But the first time I played out there was for a Space Yacht show. And the way it works out there too is just like here, it's just a little bit bigger scale, a little bit more music industry focused. You get label heads, you get A&R. People will come out to these shows to show support or whatever, or if they see a name they haven't seen yet. So I had a couple like bigger names, you could say, label heads and stuff, come out. And I didn't even know they were going to be there. But I crushed the set. Like, you know too, right? Song 1, boom. The room's flipped upside down, right? It's just one of those nights. I get off, and you know, you get your typicals. Oh man, your set was good. 2 of the dudes separately both go, look at me, shake my hand. They go, I get it now. I get it now. And that to me was like the most, like it's not your set was good, is I get it now. Because you got to remember, and again, food for thought for anybody out there that's trying to push, people only know what you give them across the screen. That's it. They only know what you give them in that 7 seconds or whatever. So if you're only giving them X, they're only going to know X. And I think that for me is like also why I try and show my humor. I try and show when shit didn't work out. I try and show, like, there was one of my biggest Instagram reels, I wasn't even going to post because I was embarrassed. I did a festival this past year where there was like, I was headlining at Excision's, not Excision.
He's canceled, bro. You can't be at Excision's festival.
It was Bass Canyon. Who does Bass Canyon? Why am I tweaking on this right now? No. It's a bass artist. I don't know. I was doing Bass Canyon, and the guy who throws Bass Canyon, I should know this. This is fuck. Look it up. Who throws Bass?
Pull it up, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. Who does Bass Canyon's festival? Anyways, he was headlining. I was same time. Nobody was at my stage, and I did like the foot stomp transition thing that I do, and I wasn't gonna post it. My team's like, just do what you do. Be like honest about it. And I wrote the hook like, no.
Is it Bass Nectar?
Look it up. Bass. Who runs Bass Canyon? But anyways, like I just said, like, man, when you're headlining the guy whose own festival it is or whatever, and it blew up because it was like a moment where I was honestly nervous and embarrassed to share, and people were just like on the, I remember when John Summit was playing at the same time so-and-so, I remember when Walker and Royce, like, and it's like, oh, they made that connection. And yeah, I mean, that shit matters. Like trying not to, like, you gotta remember, like, whatever you show people is what they know. So like a lot of the times these people just think I'm some TikTok, I don't know how to DJ, and then they see it live and it's completely different. You know what I mean? And then you do that enough times and then word spreads, right? I realized it was Excision?
Cut it out. Beep it out.
X is up. Anyways, but yeah, so I think I love that too. And I think that's the Chicago in us almost. That underestimation of like, oh, they don't really know what they're doing, or, you know, he just is good at TikTok, or he just like, I love it. It's my superpower to be underestimated, man. Bring it on. Because then when you come there, and like, that's another, I realized this lately too. This whole music industry thing is just the same with the bar industry. It's just like high school in the sense of, well, in the drama sense, but in the sense of also networking, right? If you get seen with somebody, or you are out with somebody, or you're networking with somebody, or you're speaking with somebody, it just becomes word of mouth, right? People just start speaking about you over and over. And then it's like, that's how you just stay relevant and then keep the ball rolling. And I've gotten back to that recently more than ever. I kind of like fell off a little bit in Miami, kind of was isolating myself out there, but then quickly realized like, dude, I have more of a network now than I ever did. Like, I've been able to like meet, hang out with, even eat dinner with some of the people I looked up to as legends this past year. And they come to Miami every week. So what am I doing? And so that's changed a lot of things for me just in the past 3 months, man. It's like, and then doing shit like this, man, reconnecting with people that like, again, know me since day one type shit. So I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
No,
it was Excision? Yeah, it was. Anyways, cheers.
It's dope, and I love that you're so fucking good at the content shit, and I like seeing like the collab post you did with Prism, right? Yeah,
that was great. I got like fucking like 2 million views.
It's crazy, bro. Is it hard to get places that are trying to book you to collab post with you like that? Because I feel like everybody should be doing that.
They love it.
I feel like nobody's doing that.
I've realized that, you know, I'm not claiming this, but I just, based on the amount of people I've seen, and this is a flattering thing nowadays. If somebody like takes your idea and does it, like you can't get mad. That's a good thing. That means your idea worked so well and that's all social media is anyways right now. So, but I think that's what I've realized is I've kind of laid a lot of the groundwork when it comes to promotion and how to promo and etc. And I think I'm known for that, right? So oftentimes when it comes to a venue, they're like excited. Like, what ideas do you want to do? We're down to do anything. And then obviously for Prism, it being a place that really kickstarted everything for me like 2-3 years ago, when they were the first place that really took me as like, you know, I had that shift where I was like, I don't want to do open format stuff anymore. I'm really just trying to play shows. They were there.
At that point, sorry to cut you off, did you have a particular song out at the moment that was like doing well, and then you're like, I'm leaning into this, I'm going in this direction?
No, I don't think, not yet, but I think it simultaneously like happened not too long after I like really made that decision. I think there was still a while there where like, it really started with just like, I stopped taking so many gigs. I mean, you know how it is. You can do 3 places a weekend, sometimes 6 if you're doing doubles, right? And like when it comes to, again, I had to learn this. I was a school teacher for 8 years. Nobody taught me how to run a business. But for your business wise, you're oversaturating your own market. So why would somebody pay $15, $20 to come see you open for direct support for a bigger act, if they can go see you for free the night before? Mm-hmm. And that was something that was hard for me to swallow, and I think hard for a lot of DJs that are local DJs and there's nothing wrong with being a local DJ, and we can get into how many great things came out of that too if we want to, but I know there's a lot of local DJs that are looking to take that next step. And that was one of the things. It's you got to start to kind of let go of a lot of the gigs, and what that means is let go of a lot of money, mm-hmm. which is hard, right? It's not easy, but yeah, back to like Prism and working with me in venues where like, again, it goes back to the way I was raised and the way I am. That place put me on, so I'm gonna go extra hard with the promo, and I did. I think I made like 3 or 4 really great idea videos, had help from like Sperling and Maz, which is dope. Like, that's the thing I miss about being home. I can hit up people and like really create a scene. So he did like the car one, which was just insane. Like, looked like I got hit by a car, and like everybody did their acting piece for it. And I mean, it definitely helped with sales. It doesn't always correlate, right? It got 2 million views, but it wasn't like 2 million people were lining up at the door. But that doesn't matter. It's like, to the venue, it's like, what other artists did that in the year?
Nobody.
Off a promo, right? Because most artists just, like a lot of the bigger artists, they won't post shit. Or they'll just, some of them don't have to. But to me, it's like, it's almost become something that I'm known for now. And because I'm such a big WWE fan, like, I love it. It's like I've learned, I feel like I'm acting now more than I ever thought I would do, like act or whatever. And like, dude, if that ends up spinning into something, like more than the DJing or whatever, I'm here for it, bro. Like, fuck it. But I love doing it, and the venues love when you do it too, right? I think it's all about knowing where you're at too. I have no issue saying that, you know, I'm not selling out rooms. I'm not hard ticket rooms. It's very hard to do, like, period. There's like 20 to 30 artists in general that are really selling hard tickets in major markets. A lot of these times it's hard, like Prism was a hard ticket show. So like that was also the reason, like that was kind of a test. If I can't do it in my own market, so we gotta figure out something, right? But I did, so it was good. But you know, that was also part of it too. It was a hard ticket show, so I needed to do everything. And at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. And I wanted to walk away and Prism say, damn, this fucking kid, at least he pushed the shit out of this show. And I did. And, you know, and it goes a long way, right? It's like knowing where you're at and knowing like nothing's beneath you is what I try and remember. No matter how much success you have, like nothing's, like even that specific one too, I made a post about this. I called 150 people that like 2 weeks prior. I picked up the phone and said, hey, look, how you doing? Checked in with them. You know I don't ever do this, but I'm coming back. This is my big headline show. If you can come out, come out. And dude, it made a huge difference, I think. You know what I mean? Just picking up the fucking phone. You know, there's not a lot of people that will do that because they feel like it's too beneath them or whatever.
Yeah.
So shit like that, man. It's, yeah. You know, you got to do it.
That helps for sure.
I think people don't do that enough. So
everyone just thinks like, oh, I put it on my story, they're gonna see it.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It doesn't work like that.
We were talking about that before. It's like you gotta try and do something more than just like posting a flyer. For sure, post it. I mean, it's being made and like it's definitely a quick bit of information. But for people to just accept that that's the way they're promoting these days is ridiculous. Like ridiculous. I'm sorry. And look, again, post the flyer because people are making them and you should post them. It should be like in between. It should be filler, right? But it's not that hard to go above and beyond. Not even above and beyond. I mean, just literally you could like for venues, like it could be as simple as like you pretending you're somebody in the crowd at that show or at that place and just panning with your phone and just being clever. You could use that same video of a crowded night at your place and come up with 50 to 100 different hooks to put over that video and just run that, bro. And like, I think we were talking about this earlier. Me and Walsh was like, dude, people used to pay for that type of like reach. And now if you think about it, like every time you post it's like an ad. Mm-hmm. It's a way for you to get eyeballs without paying for it. So you have nothing to lose by doing that. And yeah, between like artists and venues and promoters, it's like they don't want to get up with the times. But the ones that are getting up with the times, they're not doing it at clubs anymore. They're doing it in coffee shops. They're doing it in pizza shops. They're doing it at places where like you wouldn't ever expect to do it anymore. And I don't know. It's like something's got to give. Something's got to change a little bit, right? Especially if you're expecting people to come to your place and spend 4 months rent on a bottle. I mean, you know, you
got to give them an experience. You got to give them something.
Yeah, something. You know what I mean? And like, look, there's some places where maybe it just still works. You don't have to, and good for them. But
I don't know if that exists. I don't know if that exists anymore.
These kids these days, man, they don't look things up on Google. What comes across their TikTok. And like, that's how they do things. So if you're not like, but it applies to everything these days. I was just sitting down at lunch with a good friend of mine, grew up with her. She's a real estate agent in Chicago, has accounts in Miami, and she's crushing it. And she just telling me about she posted some dumb video off her iPhone and it blew up and it got her so many sales. Because as a person who looks for, you know, I've moved last couple years, I'm looking on TikTok. Because to me, if a building's posting TikToks or a real estate agent posting TikToks, to me, it's like she's up or he's up with the game. You know,
it's relatable.
It's relatable.
They're doing the same thing you're doing. So, you could talk to them. They understand content at the very least. You can connect on that.
Yeah, and I think for people to dumb it down too, it's like I consult with a lot of artists and sometimes even venues. You just got to start by looking at other people in your niche, picking the top 3 people that are killing it, but that also like are relatable to you, where you could say, oh, I could do that, and just redo it. Just take what they did and redo it. Trust me. Nobody is going to sit there and say, oh, you completely stole that person's idea, because guess what? You're going to see it. You're going to either interact with it or you're going to scroll past it. And in 7 seconds, you're never going to think about it again.
Yeah.
And I think people forget about that. So yeah, stop making it so hard. You know, people make it too hard.
Yeah. And everything is a sample of something else. Everything's a remake. There's no idea original. There's nothing new under the sun.
No.
It's never what you do, but how it's done.
Yeah.
Shouts to Long Drink for sponsoring the podcast. Absolutely the best cocktail you can get out there. That's exactly what it is. A cocktail in a can. It's not a seltzer. As you can tell, it's not one of those stupid, long, skinny cans that makes you look like an idiot stick when you're drinking it. This is good stuff. Anyone I give one of these to ask me what it is, where they can get it, and why they haven't had it before. I'm putting people on. You guys are next. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the program. Go to your local liquor store. Target's got them. Wherever you can. Grab a long drink today. Enjoy. Watch the pod. Let's get back to it. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think for me, what's really worked has been it's such a psychological game too. Like, even with the music, like not even just the content, but making the music. Like now when I'm sitting in a studio, and it doesn't take anything away from the process, because I think I just think like this anyways, but you know what the lyrics say, what the part of like what's how the build up or right before they're like what's that 7-second moment that we're going to end up promoting for the next month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever, and like how to build something around that too, because you know, just the days of just posting about your song like the week before and then hoping for the best is like, you can't do that. Like I've gotten into this, like I'm on a rotation where I'm like posting about one of my songs for months on end. And to me, I thought about it the other day, it's like the old radio effect. Remember when you used to listen to radio, right? And like you'd be in the car and you would hear that same song a whole fucking month. You didn't even like it at first, but after week 4, you knew it. You kind of liked it, you know, it's playing everywhere. That's what it is now. So the more you like get it in people's brains, that earworm, now people, the more of a chance people either know the words or they're going to go to Spotify and go listen to it.
You got to force it on them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to force yourself on people. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Is that the clip?
Sometimes you have to force yourself on people, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, we do it. Yeah. Walsh does it every weekend.
Are you single these days? Or
No,
you're a taken man.
No, I'm taken man. I've been taken for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, because by the time this all airs, I will be an engaged man.
Wow.
I'm popping the question tomorrow.
Does she know that?
Yeah, she has a gander. She's got an idea. Yeah, she got a pretty good idea.
These days, you can't just pick out the ring and hope for the best. They need to be part of the
process.
Parents, yeah. She wants to know. She wants to tell you exactly how it looks.
That's the funny thing about girls, right? They want to be surprised, but they also need to know when and what to wear. But you know what? I'm cool with that, because for the amount of money you end up spending, the amount of money you end up spending, by the way, we went to Gage Diamonds, in case anybody's wondering. A little selfless plug there. They were great over there.
I got a diamond guy too, but I'll give this one
shout
to
out
you.
Frankie. But yeah, so, you know, the amount of money you spend, I would rather hope that she's happy with it all, knows exactly what she's getting. And that's just me too in general. Like Christmas time, getting gifts, birthday, it's very difficult for me because I'm such a people pleaser that I freak out. I get so nervous that somebody's gonna be disappointed in something. Yeah. And like it's a bad habit, but I get like inward and like angry almost. Not at them or whatever, but I almost like beat myself up so much about it. Yeah. So something like this, that's this so monumental and enormous, like I'm like, yeah, let's go make sure we get the exact one you like. And yeah, so she should be more than happy. Yeah. She should be more than happy. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, man, it's about that time. So
what do you have it planned out? You have the whole thing mapped out?
It's
This
all
is a
mapped
good
out.
conversation because I'm coming up on this this milestone soon, and I'm sitting thinking, how am I gonna do it? Where am I gonna do it?
Yeah, well,
I gotta have plans for after.
I mean, speaking on that, I met her out there.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Erin.
10 minutes, I'll say.
You approve?
Go forward with that.
All right,
man.
you got the Jake Shore approval.
There you go. You could just tell she's dialed in. She's kind of working, but she's chilling. She's like, she can talk to walls. So
yeah,
that's not easy.
Yeah,
it's easy to look at him, but talk to him is a whole different story. But no, man, I think I have it all planned out. Walsh also helped a little bit too, just kind of dial everything in. We actually hit a moment in the planning where we're like, shit, we should probably think of a plan B. We didn't think of a plan B. Do we ever think of plan B?
Nope.
Not until the morning
Not until you need it.
Not until you need it. Clip it. But no, so yeah, I can talk about this because like I said, it'll air post. Post fact. So tomorrow we're going to, I kind of made up the excuse, we didn't get a chance to go do anything Christmassy in Chicago because we've been in Miami. Let's just squeeze it in when we get home, and we'll go down to downtown, go to the Bean, go window shopping, etc. So we're gonna be frolicking around the Christmas tree downtown by the Bean, and I'll hit her with let's take a selfie. And as we're taking a selfie, I have two violinists that are gonna pop up. My mom's gonna be like hidden with a camera. She's kind of a amateur photographer. She's really good though. But the violinists are gonna creep in, pop up, and start hitting Wish Upon a Star from the Disney movie. She's like her sister works at Disney. I've gone to Disney now like once a year for the past 3 years for free. I'm a Disney adult now. I'll say it, okay? But Wish Upon a Star. I'll drop down on one knee, kind of segues into the spiel, when you wish upon a star, etc. And then when she says yes, God willing, they're going to switch it over to Forever from Chris Brown, which I just made a remix of. So it's like, it's like kind of perfect timing and everything. And I think that's the cherry on top, man. The violin, because like every Disney movie, when there's like the apex or the crescendo of the movie, like the high point, right? They hit the big orchestral, like.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be pretty cool, man.
That's awesome. That sounds great. And now I need to rethink everything I was thinking, especially because Erin probably just heard this.
Facts.
I fucked up.
Facts. She heard it. Yeah, she heard it.
I don't have violinists coming.
Dude, okay, I was tripping on like, because up until that point, it's kind of a cliche place to do it. But I'm from Chicago, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay to be cliche in this instance, right? But I was like, man, how am I gonna make like it like that moment like special, extra special? And I'm not ashamed of this, but I was watching The Golden Bachelor with her the other day.
Are you into that, or you were doing it for her?
No. I actually like it.
You're
The Golden Bachelor's lit. The older people, yeah, it's a little bit more like, I can't like get it with the regular one. It's like too cringy. But the Golden Bachelor just makes you feel like there's hope.
Okay,
right? It's like older people finding love after like one of their like, former just either deceased or divorced. Anyways, but I'm watching it, and the dude at the end finale like gets down on one knee and like proposes to her. She says yes, and then you hear in the show the music in the background, and that's when it clicked. And I was like, dude, how sick would that be to do it live?
Yeah,
where it's kind of like a flash mob feel almost in a way. She's not the type that likes to be in front of people, so I'm hoping that the ring and everything she just goes with it, which I think she will, but. Yeah, it'll only be like hopefully a couple minutes at the end of the day. So I think she'll be happy about it.
You guys are walking around and the violinists are just following you. You're like, babe, I paid for an hour, so.
Yeah, no. It was hard. It was interesting. I mean, look, I'm glad. I don't usually plan things like that far in advance. So I'm glad I got ahead of everything, and like finding a violinist on Christmas Eve, like it was actually pretty easy. So it all worked out pretty well, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow, but it should be good.
That's crazy, bro. Good luck.
Yeah. So I'm excited,
awesome.
Man. I'm excited. It's a long time coming, and feels right. So I'm excited. Yeah.
That is exciting. There was definitely there was definitely most of my life that I've lived where I never saw myself getting married, ever.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'll never do it.
But I feel you. I mean, that's a big thing, right? Envisioning something for yourself. And if you can't vision that, sometimes it's hard to like believe that it could ever come true. But yeah, I think it's time, bro. And it's good. It's good. Like, when they say, right? So
for sure.
But it seems like also just the thing to do. Like it feels like all my friends are at that point in their life, and well, not all of them, but
most of them.
But and to each their own. Too.
Could you settle with one woman if you had eyes like that, though? Let's be honest.
Speaking about Walsh right now, no. I mean, I don't blame him. It's going to be hard for him the rest of his life with those things hanging off his head. But
yeah,
what are you going to do?
Sorry, I'm just here to support.
Yeah, that's all right. He's always got us, so he'll be fine.
You do need that one single friend to be a good monogamous man. You need that one single friend that you can slide everything
I got two.
off to.
You know Luis Rivera?
Oh, never heard of him.
Yeah,
Big
Louis.
Big Lou. He's got
Big
a fucking
Louis.
basketball jersey on right now. His hat's
He's in Puerto
cocked to the
Rico.
side.
He's got 4 curls hanging off of his head, and he's probably eating some fucking cantaloupe or something. I don't know. I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. We fucking had some good time. Let's jump into that a little bit. Let's keep going down memory lane because that's always fun. What's a place? We talked about Bottle. We talked about LA Social. Let's talk about a place that just really digs up some old memories. I'll start.
Okay.
I think you were about to say it. Max Bar.
Dude, Max Bar for me, I don't have a ton of memories tied to that.
Bull and Bear.
Bull and Bear, I got a lot of memories tied to, for sure.
A lot of faded memories, but yeah, Bull and Bear. There was a time, remember like the Sunday, you'd hit like El Jefe for maybe the game, or maybe Fremont for brunch, El Jefe for maybe the Bears game or kind of the game, whatever, just whatever they had going on there at that fucking place. Then you'd go to Bottle Blonde, then you'd pop over to Joy District right before the sunset hit. Joy District rooftop like that first year was fucking insane.
Yep.
Then you'd go to like, what comes next? Probably Bull and Bear, right? After that? No. I'm missing something.
Bull and Bear, so Bottled and Bull and Bear weren't around together for long, I don't think.
No, there wasn't much of a crossover.
I think there was a small crossover, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, it'd be Joy, then Bottled, then let's just say, maybe not in the same time frame, but then you jump around to Flagship just for a quick bite to eat, say hi to Dustin, take a shot or two, bounce back over, and then at some point you'd be like, yeah, let's go to Bull and Bear. Bull and Bear would turn into there was the Spy Bar group, there was the Underground group. Underground, when Underground was the spot on Sunday.
Yeah. CIA Sundays.
Dude, that was when I first dipped into the industry. And I was like, this is awesome.
Sunday was such a special day and night. And I'm so sad that it's gone.
So it's gone.
It's gone.
I've been away from the city for 2 years, so like there's some things I don't quite understand. It's gone?
It's gone.
What?
Completely gone.
Yeah, there's no like
Absolutely
jump
gone.
around spots anymore, really, right?
There's no nice little bar crawl. I mean, I think that the West Loop has potential, and
It's too bougie.
if they keep hammering at it, I think it'll stick at some point. But like PB&J's got a little Sunday bubbling. I know Bodega, people go there after.
Yeah.
I think if they keep it going and more of the street joins in, I think that they can come together and
Big things are coming.
brew something up.
Big things are coming.
I'm ready.
Big things are coming, says Walsh. Okay. Let's go.
But even when I was in Houston, when I would come back here to DJ for the weekend or whatever, I'd book a Sunday gig and I would just be like, oh, this is horrendous.
I think the experience needs to change in some of these places from the format that we all grew up with to just something. And it's hard because I totally get it as a business owner. Tables, bottles, that's your cash cow. Like that's your money, right? But I just feel like people want to feel like they're going to something that is like a little bit more exclusive or feels a little bit more like thrown together, which is just hard to do, right? Like you're not gonna throw things together if you have like a brick and mortar, right? But I mean, it's not only that, but I've seen that in cities, especially like Chicago and like LA scene like that is like completely gone. It's just tough. It's just like not what it once was, which is like something you just got to accept, but it doesn't mean that it can't be revived or there can't be a new. I just think it needs to be a mixture. Like there needs to be more emphasis on a dance floor. I truly feel that. And like if I play a place and there's like couches in front of me, it bothers me because you're basically telling people come sit down and be seen instead of enjoying and moving and bouncing around and dancing to the music. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's, I don't know, but I also miss that too. Like that Sunday, no matter how much of a degenerate I was, I had some fucking good times.
There's definitely some great memories, some great Sunday fun day memories. It was fun,
and you got to see that was the cool thing about being a local DJ too, is like you really made whatever you got was what you made while you were out not DJing. You know, you had to put in the time and be seen and be out and talk to people. And, you know, one thing would be like, yo, we should book me here. Like, you know, it also was like the more you did that, the more people just kind of you rolled with. And that was the name of the game. It still is the name of the game. The more people you can bring, the quicker you get booked, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had your crew. I was known for bringing fucking people in left and right, you know, and it's just like you roll 40 deep to any place, yeah, they're gonna book you.
Yeah,
I mean, you can play whatever, but yeah, I just feel like that's kind of you don't see it that much anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, to your point, I think we're going through a change right now.
Yeah,
definitely Chicago I could speak for, but I got to imagine it's most of just nightlife in general.
Yeah,
I think that bottles are out. And the places that are going to do the best are the ones that can let that go, you know, and I don't mean let that go by get rid of it, but I mean let it go by not living in the glory days of like, oh, bottle service is it's where the money's at. This is what we need. Like, yeah, have some tables, let people buy their bottles if they want, but focus on the room itself, focus on the dance floor, focus on the party, focus on the experience that the guest has, make the guest feel like a superstar, like their money is worth something, like their time is worth something. And I think that's where bottle service was born, right? Was like the VIP experience. Give us more money and you'll get this piece of real estate in the club and you'll be treated well and your bottle server will come and take care of you and you feel important. And as it's been bastardized over the years and just beaten over the head, it's gotten to the point of like your bottle service girl's just chewing bubble gum waiting for the next client to come buy a bottle and is not like tending to your table and like giving you good hospitality, which is what this whole industry is based around. So if that shit's kind of out the window, let's get back to the roots and like give everybody that walks through the door, because a drink is $25 now.
It's insane.
The fucking carton of
That's
eggs
the other
is
side of the coin. Let's
now.
just be honest and hit it where it's at. People don't have that kind of money like that anymore. Like, especially the young kids these days, like that are 21, 22, 20. They don't have that type of money, nor do they want to, because what they see online is people at things, dancing in a crowd with an experience, something that looks like it was put on for them, versus come here and just sit down in a corner. Like, they don't want to be told to sit down. It's just not what they want, right? And so you got to understand. And again, you can't just completely dip on it, right? Like, because there's going to be a pocket of that crowd that wants to sit down and that wants to, maybe you have birthdays, maybe you have like something where like you have that large group. So you got to have that. I think what I've seen recently, like I just did a place out in Boston whose majority of like the bigger nightclubs are very bottle service format still. But the new place they just opened was called Basement, same company under Big Night. And it's a very, it's a shallow room as far as like the depth from where the DJ booth is out. It's about 10 feet across where the wall is. And then it goes long ways. And what that does is you have the bar over here. Everybody feels like they're close. You only have about 10 rows. So yes, you may be over here, but like it kind of just makes people feel super intimate and a part of what's going on. It's also what you've seen with like the boiler room setup, right? You're now taking that pedestal feeling away, and you're making people feel like they are part of the show now. And that's why it's done so well. Also times that by doing things in places that don't look like clubs. Right? Yeah. Why you've seen the coffee shop sets pop up, why you've seen the, pizza, all those things people want, because it feels like you're almost doing something you're not supposed to. Mm-hmm. So if the bars and clubs can kind of figure out a way to even stage that or mesh that or turn their place into a pop-up once a month in some way, shape, or form, you could include, specific companies and stuff that maybe are trying to promote a certain like identity or trend or theme that week or month or whatever it is. I think there's a lot of ways you can get into it and do it. You know what I mean? But the tricky thing is you have a lot of people that run those places that are stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
And are just trying to meet a bottom line. And if their bottom line isn't truly affected yet, is business, they just going to do business as always business.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bottle Blonde.
Yeah. Facts. So,
no, you're right. And I think
but what do I know, honestly? I don't own a fucking club, so I just go there and work, you know what I mean?
But the DJ to me has the most weight in their opinion because we work at the most places.
Yeah.
We travel around and we see all the different venues and we see what works and we know what works and we understand it. And like, I don't think that the DJ's opinion is valued enough in a room full of owners and GMs and all those people, because I think that we're just kind of written off like, oh, you're a party guy, you drink, you have a good time, which is all true. But also, if you got a good head on your shoulders, you're taking these things in. Yeah. You understand a room. You're reading a room. It's half of our job, right?
Like, 100%. Well, the good ones, the good ones know how to read a room. I think I touched on it earlier. Like, when you walk into a place, like the energy is either palpable, or you got to warm them up, or it's just not going to be there. Like sometimes I'm playing a spot and it's just people. They're just, I don't know why they're out.
It's one of those nights.
It's weird.
It's a full moon.
I mean? And it's like, you have those 3 or 4 tunes too that like no matter where you go, you play it and it's fucking banana land. And those are usually the ones I test out and still. But either way, that may not be your fault as a DJ. It could be, I think one thing that always sticks out to me is a lot of places don't consider the flow of their place, how people maneuver in a place. I think some of the best places are the ones that have the bar in the middle, are far away from the dance floor so that people aren't like standing and waiting and moving around, or like people can get around, you know what I mean? And like a lot of places just don't think that way. But I think there's also a lot of room. Like I play a lot of venues that still have tables, but again, it's just the positioning of those tables. They're off to the side. And I think more people are willing to pay a $25 ticket to see a buzzing, like smaller artist that they found on TikTok than pay $5,000 for a bottle to sit down. I mean, just saying that out loud, I'm like, yeah, like obviously, like that's what they want to do. So there's definitely a way to get people in. Maybe it's you increase the cover and pick the right artist to come in. You know what I mean? It's like, it just depends on who you have at the helm. I think some people are a little bit more progressive, and again, if some people are going to be stuck in their ways, and those are the ones who will fall off, it's like evolve or die. It's just like anything else.
100%.
So. Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because the music is changing again too. It's definitely, it's funny. A lot of guys who used to book all open format DJs I'll talk to, and now they're having trouble finding open format DJs because all the kids now want to just play a house.
Yep.
Which, it's cool and I love, but to lean into this is where, man, playing all those years in the clubs and learning how to be an open format DJ, learning how to turn a room upside down, go up to 140, drop back down, flip, it literally has shaped me and allowed me to do what I do now. And I'm so thankful I needed those years, because there'll be times where like, my sets now are not just house anymore. Like I make a lot faster music, and it's kind of all over the map, and I take a lot of pride in that, because I've seen, like I said, a lot of the younger DJs, they just stay at 128 the whole time through, and for a club or just like a normal place, like you can't do that. You just can't do that. Like in general, like you have to be able to switch it up and read the room. So it's funny how that's changed, but the music again is changing, which I think always means the culture is going to change. And so I would love for it to get back to just a sweaty dance floor, man.
I think it's coming.
I think it's coming too.
I really think it's coming back. I think
people are more interested in doing that. You already seen kind of the no phones policy on things, and like, I think it's interesting. I don't know how I feel about the no phones thing, because it's like, it feels like it's something that's being forced, but I think it should definitely be nudged, right? It's like, hey, just be in the moment. Because you do see some of these shows where it's just like, and nobody's dancing, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? It's usually Afro house shows, so which I get, but not in my shows. You can't do that because I'm playing too much high energy shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm hoping for that. I think, you know, it's all, you can always look at the UK and look at like overseas and see kind of what's going to be coming here. And from what I'm seeing on videos of friends of mine over there and things of that nature, like it's going back to the scene, man, like where it's just like rave, sweat, dancing, meeting the, like I try and do it at my shows too. Like I'll sit on the mic and, you know, be like, it'll be whatever song it is, just the right song at the right time, and be like, I want you to turn to the person next to you. Let's have a fucking moment right now and let's dance. I don't care if you're facing me. I really don't. I'd rather you be dancing. That's just truly how I feel. Like, you can't help people doing that because it's kind of like the culture right now. But yeah, man, people forget to dance. Like, why did you come? This is music. It's not, I mean, pull out your phone, cool, get that moment, like, because you got to be able to relive that when you want. But like, I feel like some people come and they don't even remember to dance. It's bizarre.
Yeah. I like dancing. It's been like just turned into its own entity, you know, like I feel like you only dance if you're a dancer.
Yeah. And that's
you know
so
what
whack.
I mean? And I'm not a dancer. I'm not a guy that can go out and like let loose and dance. But when I do, when I get drunk and when I'm having a good time,
shoulders,
and when I'm able to move,
everybody has that.
Fucking realize that you need it.
Yeah.
Like it's
good for the soul.
It is a human need and desire. Like you put a song on in front of a 2-year-old child and they don't know anything, but they'll start moving because that's what the fuck the music is for. Yeah.
So I feel like that's coming back. I think one thing I hope for with the younger generation right now is like, honestly, a lot of them are digging up old stuff and the classics, and I feel like even if they're being rebooted or whatever it is, at least they're taking the time to like almost understand where that came from. And because there's so much information now out there, they're allowed to go find that and figure it out. And like, I just feel like that's going to help push everything forward. And it's going to create a lot of new types of music. Like I've been experimenting with, like, I'm making a lot more like Euro dance, like 90s Euro dance and hard house stuff, which is like at 140, very groovy, high energy stuff. But instead of like going and finding that diva vocal, like typically most people would, or even like a 90s hip hop vocal, I just flipped like some Chief Keef and put it over there, or even like Three Doors Down, like shit that nobody would think of doing. But like, I think that's kind of going to be the next evolution of shit, is like really like style bending and genre bending is very much, I think, coming back to play, which then brings back the open format. You know what I mean? It allows you to like really cook up a set and jump around tempo wise. And I think that's the best, man. And it's like, you just like, it makes your set really dynamic and fun. And I think that's what people are looking for now.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's what people crave, is fun and like, just to be able to go somewhere and fall into this new world, this new space that they're in, with whether it be a combination of the music and the decor and the lighting or whatever. It's supposed to be an escape. And I think for a long time it has been like, look at me, I got the bottles, look at me, I'm sitting at the table, look at me. It wasn't an escape. It was like a
popularity contest.
Popularity.
Sure.
Now it's like, let's fucking escape. Let's get on the dance floor. Let's move a little bit. Let's enjoy the music. I love that like disco shit's cool now. Fucking John Boy's popping.
Love that. But again, let's talk about John Boy, right? Shout out Dante. Here's one of the main reasons why I think that does so well. They double down on what they're doing. There's a theme to it. There's an escape to it. It directly speaks to an audience. The thing about a lot of the clubs and the stuff that like, the clubs that like they had the format and still have some of the format, you don't really know what you're getting. You go there or you do know what you're getting, but it's just so general, where it's like, again, John Boy is like themed and branded extremely well. People want to buy into a brand, and there's a certain, like, you're not going to go there if you don't like disco or if you don't like that style, right? And like, again, it's an experience. People want to feel like they're going to a place and they're getting an experience, which is why that like pop-up it feels like a pop-up that never closes.
Exactly.
Is the best way that like to put it.
Exactly.
And I think that's why it works. and it works really, really well. But you can then multiply that in so many different ways across. I think a lot of brands are just, when it comes to like the clubs, they're scared to double down, like, and just say, we are the dubstep spot.
Right.
Or we are the 90s hip hop spot. You know, like double, triple down on that, and you will find your audience, because I know that's what I did. That's what any successful brand does. You don't have people's attention span for very long. Again, going back to, you need to basically try and show them everything you can in 3 seconds. Don't make them guess what you are, right? And that's what, like, when my brand started to I double, triple down on the 90s and the vintage thrift store type vibe that I have, and triple down on that, so that, you know, when you hear my music or when you see me, you can kind of put it together like that, right? Goodnight John Boy has that factor to it. People know what they're getting. Bodega has that factor to it. They're a, you know, taco spot up front, speakeasy in the back. You're going to get that vibe. You know what you're getting, period. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that I would like to see, instead of like the general bottle, you know, lunch, sports bar, whatever it is, then open up to like bottle service, which that worked, but I don't feel like it's.
I think it's dying. I mean, bottle blondes across the country are closing shop. Yeah. There's not a lot left. I think it's just Dallas and Arizona.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And I think you got to put your ego to the side and just move on. Like, move on and move up. It doesn't mean it has to die. You got to just reshape it. Make it meet the audience of people that are going out.
You have to have somebody that has their finger on the pulse of what's happening.
Yeah. I think that's something that I've been really blessed to be on. Is I'm always dreading the day that, like, and there's moments, right, where somebody will say something like, "What's that?" But I really try and stay on the pulse with so many things. It's such as a DJ, you have to, musically, you know, trend wise, etc. Like, I think that's what a lot of business owners, and it's not their fault, because honestly, things are so fast that most businesses for the longest time could be what they were, and it would take 2-3 decades before the next thing, the next style of whatever came. But now things just move so fast that you almost, like, I know businesses that are like, the owners that go in and, like, they are assuming that in 2-3 years they're ready to rebrand the whole business again and just keep changing it. And it works, you know what I mean? Because, like, they know that, like, it's only going to last for a second, you know what I mean? So I think I get it. It's tough. I don't want to sit here and make it seem like it's easy, but I do feel like it does start with guys like the DJs that are in it to be like, hey, like, look, this is what we're seeing.
This is what's happening. Yeah. This is what the crowd wants. I know, because I play a fucking record and it hurts my soul when it doesn't go the way I want it to go.
Yeah.
And I know it feels really good when I play a record and the people like it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I fucking know. I feel it in my bones. But let me ask you this while we're bashing the current state of nightlife.
We're gonna get canceled. You can't cancel me. I ain't a gym membership. Clip it.
Let's go.
Clip it.
I was recently told, and this kind of blew my mind, that, like, and I think that you would have better insight on this. A lot of the hard ticket selling guys that are doing the clubs and shit around the country, I was told that they are not selling a lot of tickets at all. Like I was told that Cedric Gervais sells like 9 tickets if he's booked at a nightclub.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I will say it in the fact it is extremely hard to sell tickets. In general, the nightlife, not just the club format we were talking about, but in general. So my manager also happens to be one of the biggest talent buyers on the East Coast for the past 15 years. Shout out Tim Benito, Timmy B. And, you know, direct from the source. He's seen it. He was there during the Hardwell days when the first boom came over, and it was like crazy. First started actually booking DJs as acts. It's hard right now, because just in general, just that nightlife, even buying tickets, it's just very difficult. So I don't know for a fact, but I'm going to go based on my experience as an artist, and then try and, like, think about what that looks scale wise. Yeah, I'm sure it's extremely difficult to sell hard tickets, but that's where you see, like, the festivals are doing really well, because why? You have a congregation of artists that each have their own selling ability put together with the promotion of that festival. Plus, it's an experience, not there for more than 1 or 2 or 3 days. So all the things we're talking about, that's why the festivals are killing it, right? But yeah, back to what I don't think it's easy by any means. I mean, I think what happens a lot of times, I mean, I know for a fact too, I remember you had a conversation, you being Walsh sitting next to me, had a conversation with the team from Prism after I played. And mind you, I'm local here, so this should be the place where I sell a lot of tickets, which I did. Damn near sold out, I believe. But he was saying how they were shocked on how many tickets I sold compared to some of the bigger guys that come in. So yeah, I'm sure you're right. But whoever said that or wherever you're hearing that from, it's difficult, man. Like I said, there's really only 25 to 30 guys, maybe less, that are truly going from place to place and selling out like crazy numbers outside of your LA, outside of your New York, even Chicago. But like, it's tough, man. It's definitely tough out there. It's
crazy to me, and hearing that shocked me. And I'm still doing my research to, I'm asking you, I'm asking people who I think would have better insight on it, if how true that is. Because to me, I see a big nightlife group that's got nightclubs around the whole country and even around the world booking these guys. And my first thought is like, these are successful business owners. They know what they're doing. Yeah. Of course, if they're booking these guys, there's a reason for it. These guys are selling tickets.
Yeah.
But my boy's like, no, they're not. They're just like embedded in the system, and the people booking them are like lazy and not looking for who to book necessarily.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I think the embedded thing is, you could also call that like, with like almost like a tenure, like how it is, like when you get in with a place, like it could be that, it could be people are lazy or whatever, but I also think there's just sometimes you build a good relationship and it works out. I think, yeah, I mean it always depends too, I think, on what they end up getting offered. What they got offered last year might not be what they're getting offered this year. I think it all depends. I think a lot of times though, these owners are probably losing money on some of these acts that they're booking.
That's crazy to me, bro.
But again, when you sell bottles and tables at 5 to like, that's where they make. That's why you can't completely eliminate that section of it, because oftentimes those will make up for, or if not exceed. Like I can guarantee you, the tables that were at my show probably made them more than I got paid, which is crazy to say, but that's and it's just one of those things. Like I don't know. I guess. It just depends on the act too, but I'm sure it's not the selling tickets thing is probably a lot less than people think it is. It's hard to do. Yeah, it's really hard to do for sure. Unless the price point's right or the room size is right. Me personally, I would rather go around the country and do a 200 person room, because I know there's a good chance I can pretty much fill that to capacity, if not almost fill it to capacity in most places with enough promotion, plus the promotion from whoever's running the event and whatnot. And that's what people want.
Yeah.
Again, they want that smaller, intimate vibe anyways. And that's what more bang for your buck right now, especially as like an up and coming artist. But yeah, it's interesting.
There's a whole new class of people that are popping from social media that can sell 200 tickets, which if you're comparing yourself to Tiesto might not sound like that much, but to sell 200 tickets, to get 200 people to say, here's my money, I want to see this person.
Here's my Friday night. Here's my Saturday night.
Insane. Yeah, that is a fucking ridiculous accomplishment.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous accomplishment. And I relate it to like the views on YouTube or something. Like I watch podcasts where guys get 10 to 20,000 views on average, and someone might look at that and be like, yeah, I mean, it's whatever, it's not millions, like you only made it when you get to the millions,
right?
But these motherfuckers have Patreons that are bringing in $20,000 a month.
Facts.
Like they made it. They are doing exactly what they want to do.
It doesn't always translate. Like you could have 1 million followers, but that doesn't mean you're selling a ticket. You could have 20,000 followers and have like a crazy core fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And I think obviously the vanity of having the larger numbers is going to get you the opportunities et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the in real life at the end of the day is so important. And that's why going back to, you said like what I do on stage and how I put together a show. And now, dude, my set is like, and I'm proud of this fact, it's like almost all edits and mashups and remixes and originals of mine that you can only see if you come to my show. And it's like that value that you're giving, because with so many DJs and so many acts, what are you doing to bring them that experience when they come? Why are they buying a ticket? Why are they coming out to see you? You know? So I think that's the thing. It's like there's so many DJs and there's so many artists. Unless they are embedded, they're probably not selling a bunch, even if they have 1 million followers. But I think at the end of the day, for me, and realistically, you see the most successful people that are selling tickets, it's been still because of the music. It's been still because they had that hit and then they followed up, but it's been because of the music. And that's my everything right now. I mean, past 3 months, man, I've devoted my non-negotiable every day I write music. And that wasn't always the case. I kind of was like making music when I felt creative, and you know, kind of just I focusing so much on social media, and started reading a book called 10x is easier than 2x recently. And without diving too deep into it, because Walsh will tell you, like, every time I see him, like, you got to read this fucking book. Yeah. The idea is like you get more by doing less. So most people think, like, if you're a business person, oh, I got 100 sales this year, or I got 100 gigs this year as a DJ. I got to get 200 next year to double my business. That's not the way to think. All you're doing is more of what you're already doing, versus taking those 100 gigs you got, really looking at them and asking yourself, out of those 100 gigs, what are those gigs, what 20% of those gigs paid me the most, were the most enjoyable, really moved the needle. Now delete the other 80. Don't do gigs like those anymore, and go find 80 more gigs that are just like those first 20. And that's how you scale to 10x, right? But same thing with like my music. How am I going to 10x my life? Well, I've gone viral. It's definitely helped, but it hasn't 10x my life. And there's been times where it's like, oh, I got to make more videos. The thing that's going to 10x my life and get me to where I want to go and get me to all the things I have on my phone, which is a Photoshop picture of me at the Grammys and a Lamborghini. Is it? You know, 6-pack, all that. I'm visualizing. You got
right? a vision board?
Oh, bro, yeah. Look what's in the middle of it too, which is kind of crazy. No homo. I got Marky Mark in the bottom with his shirt off, but that's what I'm trying to look. You're gonna zoom in on that later. What's in the middle? It's James Hype proposing to his girl.
You about to knock that off your list?
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So
once you do it, does it come off the board? You replace it with the next goal?
Yeah, replace it with the next goal. But it's all part of 10x, right? I'm trying to 10x my life. And the main thing that's going to 10x my life is the music, is that hit. And it's funny, once you start focusing on that 20%, so that's one thing of the 20, that's one part of the 20% for me. The other thing is my fitness and how I look. And then obviously there's personal things in there. But professionally, it's the music. What happens is you focus in on that 20%, you delete the other 80%. You start getting really good at that 20%. So I've devoted myself to writing music every day. Doesn't matter if it's 30 minutes, if it's 4 hours, if it's shit, if it's good. And it's so funny when I started to do that, the algo's like, no, right? You start seeing those videos that can just like confirm your bias, right? I saw a video of John Summit. I saw a video of James Hype, Ed Sheeran, even Duke Dumont. They all said it in different ways, but they basically said, you got to write 100 shit records to get the hit record. And then even Duke Dumont like put it in like a rule. He's like, it's my 3x30 method. I write 3 ideas for 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, I go back and I go through all of them, and me and my team pick the 5 best ones. When he started doing that, not even a year later, it was when he released Won't Look Back, Ocean Drive. Those were the 5. And dude, it skyrocketed his career, right? And that's what I've been on lately, man. I've just been so fucking dialed in on that idea that that's what's going to happen this year. I know it's going to happen. I just know it because I've never done this in my life, where I've deleted the things that, like drinking was one of them, right? I've detached from the pressure of social media. You guys may not know, like, oh, it still looks like you're just posting every day, but that's exactly it. I'm the only one that really notices how much I'm not posting. You don't have the time to keep up on, did Jake post today? It doesn't matter. And like literally in the last 2 weeks, the most viral videos I've had have been just me. After I make a song, I just pull my phone out, press record, and just do me. Doesn't matter where I'm at or what I was always so concerned about, oh, what's the background look like? No, I just pull my phone up, I lip sync the song with my energy that you know me for, and those have just been going stupid. Plus the music is really is getting better and better because it's like reps. Mm-hmm. That's how I got that. Like anything, anybody who's watching this, think about what you want, that 10x dream. And when I say 10x, I mean something that you don't even think you can do. That's what you got to do. Like, that was a big thing this year for me, was the vision and the 10x dream that I had 3 years ago, which was, don't want to be a local DJ. I want to play in front of shows. I want to play people my music. I want to be known across the globe. 3 years later, I did all those. I stopped teaching. I did all those things. So this past year, I realized, and I didn't realize at the time, but last New Year's Eve, I was feeling like so much anxiety, and I didn't know why, because I usually don't feel that way. But I realized it was because I had to swallow the fact that I had completed my first vision. I did it. And there's two things I could do there. I could just keep doing that, which a lot of people do, just accept it, or I now have to start the process over again and create a new vision. And that was hard because the things I thought of 3 years ago seemed unimaginable. Playing a festival, never thought, like, that sounds wild to me. Playing in other cities, headlining Chicago, it sounded wild to me, but I did it all. So now those dreams have to be even crazier. So like, yeah, walking the Grammy stage sounds fucking wild. I know. But if you don't start there, it's like that old term, you got to shoot for the stars to land on the moon. Mm-hmm. And then I picked up this book, and it was just one of those things that just like confirmed that. Confirmed
your beliefs.
So go buy the book. I listened to it on audiobook. So
you got a purchase code or something?
Damn, I should at this point, bro. You know what's funny though? I run into people who have read the book. I ran into this one cat. He came to Miami, and we linked up for like a lunch. And I do this. I just think it's a teacher in me. I'm trying to like put some game onto people. Like, yo, this book has changed my life. Let me show you. So I asked him if he read it. He looks down and points at his wrist or whatever, and he's 10x tattoo right there. He's like, it reminds me every day to focus on what that 10x goal is. And I'm like, dude, it's wild. So yeah, I mean, dude, it really has changed my life. And the best part about it is like, everybody that has ever grown or done something, the book talks about this, is like, you've already 10x'd in your life. You probably just didn't know it. If you think about it, at some point somewhere, you've 10x'd your life. And one chapter in the book forces you to go back and remember all those times you've 10x'd, because one of the best things you can do to grow and move forward is really take a second and remember and think about all the times you've had success. Because it's that gratitude that you pay to yourself that actually pushes you forward and allows you to just keep moving, instead of worrying about like the shit that you're not doing or the shit that somebody else is doing and you're not. You don't have room for that if you're being grateful and focusing on what like you have done. I think the other thing about the book is that it forces you to put other people on it, like I'm doing right now. And so like my whole team is on it right now. And like, dude, you got 5-6 people now with this mindset. It's fucking wild. And it's all about not just 10xing once in your life. It's just, it gives you the blueprint on how to do it, right? And I think, man, it's fucking wild. It's crazy. So if you haven't read it yet,
you're dialed in right now.
Oh, dude.
Is it a long book? I'm an audiobook guy.
Yeah, I'm an audiobook guy too. So every day I walk in the morning. First thing I do, I go walk down into the ocean and I meditate, and it's on the way there, and then I stop, sit out in the ocean, do my thing, do my self-talk, pop it back in, and I just probably do like a chapter a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could do that easily.
Oh, super easy, bro. Yeah. If you listen to podcasts too and shit, like that's why audiobooks are the best for me. Like, some people like to have it in their hand, which I get. Me personally, it's just easier for me to listen and take it in. And dude, every chapter, like I said, it's every chapter is like something new. And it's ingrained in entrepreneurship, and like it's a business book essentially, but that's what we're doing, right?
We are trying to run our own business, our own brand.
And then if anybody else has any good books, man, put them in the comments.
Yeah.
Let's start a book club.
I'm in.
I'm with it.
I'm down.
A DJ book club?
Audio book club,
Hell
audio
yeah.
DJ. There's something there.
I want to speak about this because I also want to clip it and I want to get it out there. Is, you know, speaking of like,
all right, pull the mic in a little bit and pull it down so it's not in your face. We'll get a real good clip.
There you go.
Right.
There you go. Cool.
Long Drink is a legendary Finnish favorite that's been around since the 1952 Summer Games. It's a deliciously refreshing blend of premium liquor, natural grapefruit flavor, and just the right amount of carbonation. Honestly, this is the stuff right here. White is sugar-free, blue is citrus, orange is peach, red is cranberry, black is extra strength, and they're all fire. New flavors dropping soon, so watch out for those. And they're just the best sponsor for this podcast. So the next time you're tuning in, make sure you crack open a Long Drink. Enjoy one while you're watching the show, because good vibes deserve great drinks. Let's go, champ. We're back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
We were talking about this before we jumped on, but speaking of like, you know, jokingly about a book club, but just the idea of how important this community here is in like Chicago, specifically with the DJs, and just to like putting it out there, since I've been a DJ from Chicago, there's one thing that I know has really rang true and stood out to me is no matter how many DJs there seems to be, there has always been like an unspoken love for all of you, like everybody. Like, no, there's competition, yes, but there's always enough room to go around when it comes to gigs. And I have never experienced nor really heard of any like sneak dissing or people undercutting people. There's been always a real good like sense of strong community here, and I love that. And I hope that's how it is in other cities, but I don't think it's as strong as it is here. I speak on that, and I stick on that. But I also feel like right now there's a real cool opportunity with me coming back to the city and things.
You're coming back to Chicago.
I'm coming back.
This is breaking news.
This is breaking news. The boy is coming home back to Chicago, and I can't fucking wait.
We can't wait either, my boy.
And I think part of it, so leaving Chicago for 2 years, what it gave me is such perspective and appreciation for how dope this fucking place is. Specifically the DJ community, the music here. You know, Make Chicago Juke Again is not just a way of saying I'm from Chicago, but it's an ode. You know how many people don't know what juke is?
Yeah.
This just goes to show you how raw Chicago is, because we are so spoiled with music that we have our own micro niche of music that a lot of people don't even know. And I think it's like been my responsibility and anybody's responsibility that starts to gain some attention outside of Chicago to put people onto Chicago. And what I'm getting at too is with our community here, you know, our boy Sherm and his counterpart Olivia just did the Chicago Music Nexus, which I heard was a huge success and brought people from all over the world to Chicago. And it's a place where a lot of value was given for up and coming DJs and producers. And I just was like, you know, I've been pushing Sherm. He has that. That's his unique ability, right? We all have that unique ability, and his is to spread information, spread joy, really give that, like, be that person that people look up to for that. And I just feel like there's such a spot here for us to build out something that people can come to every year. And maybe if we line it up to one of our big festivals, like there's always the end of the summer weekend, right? Where it's like North Coast and ARC, you know, really lining it up where just like Miami Music Week or an Art Basel or whatever, where you can go for a whole week. It's our chance to showcase our talent, other people's talent, bring them in, do a bunch of conferences, and really like, that's what I want to do. I want to be involved in that. I think Sherm and Olivia started it off with this Nexus thing, but I think there's just so many different people that could do and bring something to the table with that. And then you start thinking about all the Chicago businesses that it's going to help, that can be involved, and the clubs that need to after party. Like, it could be crazy, like, successful. I think it could be really, really dope. And it's like, why not us? Why not do that? And then, like, do you want to talk about leaving a legacy on a city? You know, something that can possibly go on. I mean, nobody thought that Miami Music Week was going to be what it was when it was just Winter Music Conference. Mm-hmm. People literally just used to go there to just like network and show up to like a fucking panel. Now it's like one of the biggest things people flock to Miami for outside of Art Basel and whatever else, right? So I just think, why not us? Like, why can't we do that here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm recruiting you. You need to be a part of it.
I would love to. I'm upset that I missed the Music Nexus. I had to pick the No Good Boys up from the airport and get them ready for their show. But I heard it was amazing, and I fucking love Sherm. He's the best guy in the whole world.
He's the best.
And we've had Olivia on the pod. She's fantastic as well. Her brother is an incredible producer.
People don't realize that they're brother and sister, which is so funny. So her brother's Papa, in case anybody knows. Hopefully that's public news. But yeah, I just feel like, and that's the thing too, like, I think going back to the Chicago thing, and I like hitting this home just because maybe some people might think it's corny or whatever it is, but the reason why I rock so much Chicago shit all the time, outside of the fact that like I'm just proud of where I come from, one of the main reasons was, I'll never forget, I was coming back off the road on a long plane from the West Coast, I think. So naturally I had to, or maybe I was going to the West Coast, either one. Naturally I had to play Straight Outta Compton. So I was watching the movie with Ice Cube's son, and great movie. But one thing I noticed, no matter how good or bad things got for that group, how far they got separated or came back together or successes they had, one thing I noticed is they always rocked their Raider gear. They always rocked their LA gear. They always repped Oakland. They always repped where they came from. And I think for me personally, inwardly, it's a way to remind myself where I come from and what I represent when I am out there doing what I'm doing, the waves that I've made or the waves that I'm still making. And it's also going to be a chance for me to bring up whoever I can. I don't want to be the one that says, oh, I'm going to do it, but I do want to spread the fact that whoever does do it, keep that energy, because I think that's what we have here is like, for example, when that hit comes, now it's time to like do my flip side collab because he earned it. He deserves it. Now it's time to get Metro. Let's produce something. Let's make a remix strategy. Like that's what I want to do. I want to put on the people who have slaved night in and night out, who have done the bad nights, who have done the good nights, who have been there and walked the line and earned it. And yeah, what better way to do it than putting on people from your city that like earned it and deserve it. And I just feel like if that's something that, again, leaving a legacy at the end of the day is something I've been really thinking about. Like, what do I want to leave at the end of the day? That's how you do it. You know what I mean? It's just giving continuous value to other people's lives. Like, that's the coolest thing in the world. If you ask any of my friends, man, as cool as it is to play different shows in different places and whatever, I love putting on my friends and showing them what that looks like and what that feels like. Watching their face. I'll never forget, I had like a bachelorette like link up with me in like San Diego last year. It was Casey's bachelorette party. And I don't think they had seen me play since like Bottle Blonde. So when they pulled up to Nova and SD and I was like headlining, and the first like song was like, I think Hectic at the time, and Confetti's, I jumped up on stage, confetti goes off, CO2 goes off, and they're behind me, and I look back at them and they're all their faces, they didn't get it. I don't think they really got it yet until then. And then it's like, dude, but for me, I was like, that's what I care about. That's what I really want. So yeah, man, I think that's what I want to try and get into. So another announcement, me and Sherm have decided to go in on a podcast. We don't know what we're calling it just yet. So any names in the comments for suggestions, the worse the name, the better. Let's fucking throw whatever out there. But I just feel like there's so much I've been wanting to do, and it took me being away to realize how much I want to do. I'm just excited to be back, man. I'm excited as fuck to be back. So that's gonna be cool.
As you should be, bro.
Yeah, dude.
This is the fucking spot. It took me leaving to realize that as well.
Oh yeah. Tell me about that, because you went to Houston.
I went to Houston for 3 years. It was a terrible time.
I heard it wasn't too great for you.
I'm in therapy trying to erase it all from my mind. You know what they did to Wolverine? Like how his memories, or it was Jean Grey, right?
Yeah.
Her memories were so bad they like blocked that part of her brain.
Was it just like what the toxicity out there? Or is it just? I mean, look, I've been to Dallas, and nothing against Dallas, but like it's like that was like the River North on steroids to me when I went out there. Like it's very tight knit industry. I know you know me. Like
There's
I couldn't do it.
It's very toxic is a good word to describe it.
Yeah.
It's very hood, just like hood culture, like materialism and toxicity and just like that is ingrained into everybody and everything and just the infrastructure of the city. And just like, I never, ever at one point ever felt comfortable and like I fit in.
That's how I feel in Miami. I love Miami for the weather. Yeah, what's up? I love Miami for the weather. I mean, look, it's helped me in a lot of ways, like mental wellness, physical wellness for sure. But just something about it to me, I used to be a school teacher and I was very much a part of the community, and that was, I think, a big part of it. I felt like I was giving back in a lot of ways, and being out of the school setting, I feel like that part of me has been missing. And I'm realizing now with whatever platform I have, there's a chance to possibly make some real changes to this city and the narrative. Because that is one thing that I have noticed being away from Chicago, is a lot of people's view on this place. First thing they say is, oh, it's cold there, right? Or, oh, it's dangerous there, right? And look, of course, there's dangerous parts of the city, but this city is so fucking dope. And there's so many beautiful parts of this city that I just feel like it's all about the narrative. So how do you change the narrative? You just do dope shit here. And you change the narrative by putting hand over foot and being out in the community and doing dope shit, doing those experiences, bringing things together, that maybe shouldn't go together, but are just giving people an outlet so that you don't have to go to a club and just drink. You could go to a coffee bar, get some good house music, talk to 5 other people about mental health maybe, and also, buy clothes in some way, shape, or form. Like, that'd be a dream of mine. I've been kind of like saying that lately, like post DJing, post artistry, when it's all said and done, ideally, I would like to open up a thrift shop, like a thrift store with clothes, vintage clothing, but I also want to pair it with a coffee shop. So it's half and half. You go there.
That'd be sick.
You can get some coffee, get a cold brew. You can go shopping, or maybe you go there to shop, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh shit. You can also maybe work over in the side. And then throw pop-ups there or something, maybe build in a DJ booth or something where it's like all those things in one. And I just feel like, man, how cool would that be in the city somewhere? You know what I mean? I think like there'd be a vibe.
I'm in. I'm invested. Yeah. You got my money.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Jake's Vintage, maybe? Jake's Junkyard?
Jake's Junk.
Jake's Junk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come take a sip of Jake's Junk.
Come take a sniff of this junk. Yeah, I don't know. The name's in flux right now, but yeah, no, I just feel like there's just so many things I want to do, but I can't see myself doing them anywhere else but here, man.
Yeah, I feel that.
So and I can't wait to be back.
I love that you're coming back, and repping Chicago the way you do is not only great to spread the knowledge about the city to other people that don't necessarily know about it, but it gives a sense of pride to the people that are here, in the same way that like when I was fucking 14 years old listening to Juice on my iPod, and he's just repping the city on literally every single song off of Tip of the Iceberg. There is at least one reference to Chicago, the streets, Lakeshore Drive, Harold's Chicken, the food, whatever the fuck it is, something about Chicago. Yeah. And that made me so proud. It gave me pride to be from the city.
It's a reflection of our city. And I think, man, that makes me so happy to hear that you feel that way too. Or you speaking for other people out there in that sense. Like, I hope people look at it too. And I know they do. I've gotten great messages about it. And, that I am in some way, shape, or form, repping and holding a torch for what Chicago music is supposed to sound like, be like, and feel like. And I take a lot of pride in that. I really, really do. I don't take it for granted whatsoever. And, but it's all by design. I'm doing it on purpose because, like I said, it's home. And I think it's also the type of person, I think anybody should be proud of where you come from. And I know sometimes it's not easy. Maybe where you come from, it doesn't have that feeling like it does for me, but I think that's something that you should never be ashamed of, is where you come from and what raised you and what turned you into the person that you are, because Yeah, it's like they say, right? There's no place like home. Well, it's true. You know, there just really isn't. So you could take the boy out of Chicago, but you can't take the Chicago out the boy.
That's facts, baby.
Yeah, man. It's good shit.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I don't want to hold you for too long, and we got to get set up for the Dig Bipper. Unless there's anything else you wanted to touch on other than
no,
Shane.
Man. I think we covered everything I wanted to cover. This conversation needed to happen. I'm glad that I'm a much better person to have this conversation too. So, you know, I think I'm glad that we are reconnecting at a time in our life where it feels like we're about our business and we're dialed and we're men in a sense, you know what I mean? I guess. So yeah, dude, this is great. I'm glad we did this, and let's just do it more often. I'll be a reoccurring guest, and then you got to come on ours when me and Sherm put one together.
I would love to. There's nothing more that I love than being a guest on someone else's podcast. Yeah. Where you don't have to like man the ship and you can just fucking chill and there's no pressure. It's the best. Yeah,
I haven't experienced that side yet. I've only done it this way, but I'm excited. I'm excited to like take that. It's a new project for me. Yeah. I think that's important too, is like, also, it's just endless content. Yeah. Like on the worst weeks where I don't feel like posting anything, we'll have clips. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like, that's what I also feel like is just so... It's going to be awesome with Sherm too. Like me and him can just fucking talk for days. Like it really is just so easy that way. And yeah, man, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. I'm excited for that. So yeah, man, hop on whenever I'm back and we get it cooking.
Thank you. Do you know what area of the city you're going to be in?
I don't know. I'm looking into like... I would love to own a place. We'll see how that shakes out. But in order to do that, that will probably be on the outskirts of the city, just price wise. Ideally, if I had my choice, I'd love to live in Roscoe Village. That's where I'm from. Okay. That's where like I grew up. My grandparents still live over there, and so like that's home to me. But I also really like Addison and Southport area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's my spot over there. And like Kimmy's in the point where she's like, you know, the last couple of apartments we've been in, it was like heart of Boston, which is like Seaport, very busy, high rise, West Loop feel. Right now we're in Brickell, same vibe, very West Loop, high rise, just thick of it. We're over the thick of it. I just need like a chill neighborhood, a vibe, like a little corner shop, little restaurant, a little coffee. That's what I want right now, you know?
You got to come to Avondale.
I like Avondale.
I'm trying to get Shane's got a little property over here, right? Yeah. Let's get the value. Let's raise the property value.
Avondale's not bad. Not bad.
Make Avondale
great again.
I don't know if it ever was great. I think we should just go make Avondale great.
Avondale great.
Bring Jake to Avondale.
I used to live over on Belmont and Troy, so it's not too far from over here. Over by like I think it's the Harrison and Sons like factory over there, but that's where I also grew up for a long. So I've been around Avondale, and it hasn't always been a great neighborhood for sure.
It's getting good.
I mean, Walsh is over here, so it's got to be good.
He's bringing a lot of value.
Mr. Lincolnshire himself, or what are you, Naperville himself? So. Lake Forest. He changes every day, so
right under the oasis.
But no, man, I'm glad we did this, and I'm super stoked on coming back. I'm really stoked on just being able to pop up to people's sets and jump on, because like guys like you, Heavy specifically, like
shouts to the
it takes
boy.
A lot. I know how it is too. You know how it is as well. Is like it takes a lot. It doesn't take a lot, but it means a lot for guys who honestly, you guys were out doing things before me as DJs to like hit me up and be like, bro, I see what you're doing. Like, and Heavy's been one of those cats that just is such a supporter. I mean, dude, same with like Milk and Cooks. Like, dude, I used to bug the shit out of those guys. Like, show me how to produce. Like, let me come to the studio. Like, give me gigs. Like, same with Heavy and them in the DJ firm. Like, dude, Eric and them, like I was like a little young, just like, let me do like type shit. It's just so fun. And like, they reach out. And it's really dope. It means a lot, man. It means a lot to get that like tip of the cap, because yeah, man, it's like, you know, like going back to what we said, just doing it for the people who helped me, you know, Dustin, another one of them.
It's sick, dude.
Like gave me those first opportunities. Without that guy, I don't know where I'd be, bro. So it's kind of wild. But we here.
That is the mentality of all of my most favorite successful people that I know. Anybody
Keywords
I know,
too. Successful.
Yeah.
And your favorites. Yeah. They you have to give back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anybody I know that's successful is all about giving opportunities to other people. And I think that it just comes, you know, full circle. Whatever they give just comes back. It's karma. It's fucking embedded into every story ever told by man, I feel like, you know?
Yeah, you have to, man. I watch a lot of those documentaries too that like, even if like, it doesn't matter if they're music or not, like there's a reason why there's like threads, right? Like I watched the Aaron Rodgers one, and then I watched the Vince McMahon one.
He got a little crazy.
Cause they all have a little. You have to be a little delusional.
Yeah.
You have to be a little delusional, but he also said it himself. He's like, there's Vince McMahon, and then there's just Vince, like, right? So like, but again, there's a common thread between all those guys and girls or whoever, and I try and watch as many as I can because there's something in them. There's some magic with those people. You got to watch those. And me, I take like the Jordan documentary, or like, you know,
oh man,
it's
those
like,
things are crazy. Those things get you revved up.
but if you piece enough of those success stories or try and be like those, there's a reason why those worked, right? There's a reason why they ended up being the people that they ended up being. So the formula's there, man. You just got to apply it. So.
Yeah. And with that being said, I think you guys need to apply it also. Also apply
yourself.
Apply your finger to the like button. Drop a comment if you're on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Help the kid out. Little algorithm activating activity. Let's go, champ. We'll see you next time. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Amazing to see everything you're doing. I'm so excited that you're coming back to Chicago. I'm
Giddy up.
I really am. I'm pumped for tonight too. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh, dude, let's rip.
Let's go.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.